9.1 to 9.3 review solving quadratic equation. In this section, we are going to solve the quadratic equation by factoring when a equals 1. So the standard form of the quadratic equation is you can compare it with ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Where in this case you have x squared plus 10x plus 21 equals 0, which means that the a in the front is 1. On the top of the cross, you write the product of the first number and the last number, which is a times c. In this case, is 1 times 21 is just 21. Or in other words, you just write the last term on the top and the middle one, that is b, on the bottom. So you're going to write 10 on the bottom. Now you're looking for two numbers. So you're looking for two numbers that goes here. When we multiply these two numbers, we get 21. And when we add these two numbers, we get 10. So the number that we are looking for are going to be 7 and 3. And you can tell that 7 times 3 is 21 and 7 plus 3 is 10. So our factors are going to be x plus 7 times x plus 3 equals 0. Once we get the factor, now we're going to apply the zero product property. In a shorter form, we say ZPP, zero product property. You put them equal to 0, 1 by 1, and then you're going to solve for x. So subtract 7 on both sides. You got x equals negative 7 or x equals negative 3. So the answer for x is x equals negative 7 or x equals negative 3. Now we are going to do more practice on solving the quadratic equation by factoring. And the first question we are going to do is number 9. And for that, we are going to make a cross. On the top of the cross is the number 1 times 12, and that's just 12. On the bottom, you say the middle number, that is 7. You're looking for two numbers. When you multiply, you get 12, and when you add them, you get 7. And those numbers are going to be 4 and 3. So you write them into a factor form. And when you put them equal to 0, 1 by 1, you're going to get x value, that is x equals negative 4 or x equals negative 3. So the answer is x equals negative 4 and x equals negative 3. For number 10, you're going to make a cross. On the top of the cross, you write the last number 30 as a product and the middle number on the bottom as a sum. You're looking for two numbers that are, when you multiply, you get 30, and when you add them, you get negative 17. So those two numbers are negative 15 and negative 2. Negative 15 times negative 2, positive 30. Negative 15 and negative 2, when you attach, is negative 17. Put them into factor 1 by 1. And then you're going to put them equal to 0, 1 by 1. Add 15, you got x equals 15. Add 2, you're going to get x equals 2. Now for number 11, it is given as w squared minus 81 equals 0. You can make a cross like that if you like to, although the middle term is 0, whereas the c is given as 81. You can solve this by using the formula that we learned is a squared minus b squared equals a minus b times a plus b. In this one, you can rewrite this as w squared minus 9 squared equals 0. And you compare this as a square minus b square, where a is w and b is 9. To write them into a factor form, you're going to write w minus 9, a minus b, a plus b equals 0. Once you get the factor equals 0, then you're going to apply the zero product property, which means that you're going to put them equal to 0 one by one, and then add 9 here. So you got w equals 9 and w equals negative 9. So the two answers are w equals 9, w equals negative 9. For number 12, you're going to have the multiplication should be negative 10 and then addition should be 3. You're looking for two numbers. When you multiply, you get negative 10. So it means that one of the numbers should be negative. So 5 minus 2. When you multiply, you get negative 10. When you add 5 minus 2, you get 3. So the factors are x plus 5, x minus 2 equals 0. You put them equal to 0 one by one, and then you're going to solve for x. To solve for x, you're going to do the opposite operation. Subtract 5 here and add 2 here. So the two answers are x equals negative 5 or x equals 2. For number 13, you make a cross again, and on the top of the cross is the last number, or you can say otherwise 1 times negative 24, that's negative 24 on the top. This middle term goes on the bottom. Looking for two numbers, when you multiply, you get negative 24, and when you add them, it's negative 5. And those numbers are negative 8 and 3. So you make factors x minus 8, x plus 3 equals 0. Put them equal to 0 one by one, and you got x equals 8 and x equals negative 3. For number 14, you can tell that this is a different type of whatever we have done so far. We have an x squared term and 5 x term and then constant. Here you have only the x term. There is no constant. If you want to solve this by factoring, you can factor it by taking the GCF out of these two numbers. The GCF for these two numbers is x. So you factor the GCF out, and inside you left with x minus 7. You can tell that when you use the opposite of distribution, x times x is x squared, x times 7 is 7x. So the factors for this one is x times x minus 7. Now you're going to apply the zero product property, which means you're going to put them equal to 0 one by one. So you have to answer x equals 0 and x equals 7.